Hey guys, this is Bhargav Dronamraju. I'm the Chief Executive Producer of Channel Awesome, and next to me is Michaud, the CEO. And hey.
Hey, we'll both interrupt each other to start this out.
Yes, absolutely.
That's how you do commentaries, is you interrupt people all the time, and we're going to do that a lot. But
yes. So, yeah, this is the Kickassia commentary, and I guess to start out, not everybody on the website is in this video. I think I think we wanted to be more ambitious and do that, but I think in the early days, Mike Ellis, doing all the calculations, figured out that logistically it was going to be a nightmare trying to bring everybody on board. You got to get more cars and more hotel rooms and feeding places and whatnot. So it starts to get exponentially more costly. But I think with the people that we got a good chunk of our website on there, and I think it worked out pretty well.
I mean, pretty much we had to pick people that we knew from the last event that would work well together, plus people that we thought that were new that would work well together. And I mean, we really couldn't bring anybody. Originally, I had set at 12 people, plus the 3, Bhargav, Rob, and Doug, so it would have been 15, but about 2 weeks before we started booking flights, we added 5 more to give you your final tally of 20. Some people that weren't there that are more popular were just because they're too new, and kind of like last year, we cut off Phaelus and Film Brain, even though we kind of last minute asked Film Brain, but he wasn't able to attend last year. So basically, next year we'll have kind of this core group here, which I think is going forward is going to be our core group, plus some people that make it last time, and so on and so forth, and slowly expand. But when we went to Reno, I mean, basically I didn't go, Ellis didn't go, we didn't have Jim go. So it's just basically Doug, Rob, and Bhargav. So that's 3 cars that we can officially really rent and not have to worry about having other people drive. I mean, I don't want to put the burden of having someone drive and do all that on someone that's on our site. So the car was limited to 21 people. Each little van we had held 7 people, and that's not including luggage, which, according to Bhargav, the trunk was very, 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 very small, so didn't really help out much.
We had 2 Chevy Tahoes and I think 1 large van, and the van had more seating but had no room for anything else. So yeah, it was a fun time. It was definitely a trek to get over there. And it was kind of it was very adventurous at times to be in Reno and essentially go to your location and be in production.
But yeah, I think the most interesting is the flights to Reno were just really hard to keep track of because, with the exception of Chicago, which had been Doug, Rob, and Bhargav, and LA, which was Lindsay, everyone else had to have layovers and connecting flights, and some actually had 2. I mean, it's just there were no direct flights to there, so I mean, everyone had a horrible piece of travel. I mean, they all had to be laid over for a half hour, some were even 2-3 hours, and just to get there, I mean, it was bad. And then the best thing is at the end of it, I guess after we left, within a few days, there was horrible weather. I think there was even possible tornadoes that were in the area. And Matthew Buck and Benzai actually got back before the volcano incident happened with Iceland, and if they're not, they'd be in America for another 2 weeks. I think they got home 3 or 4 days before the whole thing happened, and that would have really been hell for them.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Alaka Jo, I don't know what you call that volcano. But yeah,
it's something you can't pronounce without.
Yeah, I think somebody made a song about that. But yeah, it's pretty dumb luck that we were able to avoid that. Although we did have one mishap with Benzai, that was on the way back, and everybody's going to their flights, and Benzai's freaking out, and he's coming to me as I'm about to leave on my flight, and he's just like, "Dude, we can't, my flight, I can't get on it." And I thought initially it was some mix-up where some time zone thing, and that's why he was supposed to leave the other day. But it just turned out that everybody didn't realize that his flight was the day before, so we had to.
Every failsafe we had fell through.
Yeah.
But on the bright side, Air France, you guys rock. They were able to get Benzai back next day for next to no money. I was actually anticipating like a $1,500 bill to get him there, but after being on hold for about 45 minutes, they came through. I think they charged us about $300 American to do a new ticket and get him there the next day, which he still missed his museum opening, but he got back and he had to be stuck in America. where he probably would have gained about 20 pounds if he was here for like a week or so.
Yeah. Or he could have died. Who knows?
True. That massive diarrhea.
Yeah.
True. But basically, the whole thing for this came up around December. I found out about Kickassia through a site, and it looked pretty interesting. And Kevin himself seemed like a guy that'd be fun to actually have as a character in the event. I mean, if you look at his page and you go to his government minister, I mean, it's basically him in 6 different costumes with makeup or wigs or whatever, and it just looked hilarious. And pretty much, there's no big awesome story about how we got him to do this. I pretty much emailed him, like a 3-sentence email, kind of just basically explaining who we are and what we do, and asked if he was cool with us filming a mock invasion of his country. And pretty much I got back, yeah, it sounds good, and just kind of went from there. I mean, even no questions really, just seemed like it'd be funny. Basically, he told me it'd be much different from what he was normally doing with just the fake interviews and the newspapers coming by and asking him the general same questions about what's going on and how this happened. So he saw this as an opportunity to do something different, and I think he's one of the guys that actually sold the show. I mean, too bad we couldn't give him more scenes, but I mean, he was awesome in this stuff.
Yeah, he really has an atmosphere and a character about him. And then, of course, in real life, he's just a really nice, laid-back guy. And yeah, their whole family was really cooperative and, pretty much gave their house to us, which is just incredible.
That alone is amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I would never have 20 people that I do not know in my house eating and
Yeah.
going to the bathroom and just
Yeah.
being there for a weekend. Plus, they have kids. I mean, they're off from school during the weekend, and now they have 20 strangers in their house taking up their space. So,
Yeah,
to the
was-
family, you guys rock. Everyone there, we sincerely thank you for putting up with everyone that was there.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the cheaper part of the production that we're watching now, when everybody can be at their respective locations and do their thing.
And we use this this and then the Santa Christ part at the end. We use that to actually get some cameos in for people that couldn't attend. Just give them a little chance to be in the video. I know people say we over cameoed it, but this video is just a tribute to the people on the site, and it's a treat, I guess you would say, for our fans to see everyone kind of come together like a big, epic, what would you call that, ensemble piece, I guess.
Yeah, I think what impressed me about this whole thing, even though the production value is lacking in certain areas, is the fact that they're able to get almost every one of these people and get them a decent part in the entire film. I mean, there's no one person that really overshines. I mean, Doug's like the main character as a nostalgia critic, but in terms of everyone else, everybody has their key moments. Like people like Lee and Noah, who didn't really have that much of a big part in the original Brawl, they had much bigger roles in this one, which I think was nice, just trying to even it up.
I mean, that's basically the whole concept. I mean, I gave Doug the framework if I wanted to be a 3-parter. We turned it into 6 to help cut back the cost and make more money. And I just gave him the outline, and he kind of wrote this 80-page script. And then basically one day me and him went over the characters of who each person would play. And the whole idea that we had from the beginning was basically our anniversary videos are not meant to be a wagon for Doug to get more. It's more for our users to get a new audience, or say they had a bad start or a couple videos where people just absolutely hated. Now they had a chance now to show a different part of them and actually get that viewership back, or gain a whole new audience from someone who's new or underexposed on the site. And basically that's the whole thing. We want our other people who are our producers on the site to actually get a big boost from these videos. I mean, we don't make money from their videos. A creator on the site makes whatever money they make through Blip. They get to keep all of it. We don't take a penny, but we do get people staying on the site longer and get more viewers. So in the long run, the site gets bigger and they make more money. I mean, that's kind of how we look at it. Yeah, we have silence. Silence is awesome. But I mean, basically, people are still gonna say that this person had still a small part, or it's not as big as it should be. But you have to look at it from our point of view. We tried to get everyone to have at least a memorable scene or two. It wasn't just, I mean, Doug wrote it so each person, I mean, in his way, he wanted to give each person something that people would remember the video, and I think he did awesome. That each person has a line that you're going to remember.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty spread out, and it's actually difficult to craft a story and then get so many characters to be in it. It's really homogenous the way it is in terms of the dialogue and characters, and of course you have your main things like Noah's Spoonie's transformation, the Linkara Picard thing, and then I think those are the two big things going on. I don't know if there's really everyone else is more or less cameo pieces and group shots and whatnot, but it's hard to have 12 people going through these dynamic character changes. It's hard to put that in a 1 hour piece. So the way it was done, I think, showed off everybody really well.
I mean, basically, after we put the flight, once we got the concept, Doug and I had the concept set up, and a week and a half later, he hands me this 90-page script. He wrote the script within a week, and it's just, all our productions are done to be as quickly as possible. We're not there spending weeks or months. This was shot in Reno. I think they shot the whole thing in 4 days between the indoor and outdoor.
Pretty much, yeah.
4 days of nonstop shooting, and then we had them there for 7 days. The flight day, then you had the Reno shoots, and then the hotel shoots, and then you had the day or two after that to kind of do whatever they wanted to do with their own cameos and relax, and then they were gone. We didn't have much time there. It was just, once again, last year we had a little bit less time, but we had less to shoot. This year we kind of just basically was all shooting, and I really do feel bad for them. Next year I'm hoping to give the guys we bring, actually a little bit of a vacation. And we'll probably do something in Chicago next year. No more doing location shoots for a while, I think.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have maybe focus on higher production value, and but there's all kinds of factors in that. Is the story good? Can we get the locations at a reasonable price, and can we up the production value without it totally messing other things up? But in the budget and time, the only other people that are able to put out a 90-minute film in such a quick turnaround would be the porn industry. So we're basically at porn speed in terms of production turnaround. So yeah, you gotta cut some corners. But I think for the nature of the comedy and the slapstick humor that's used, it works fine. And then of course you can throw in all these goofy little post-production things. Speaking of post-production, I'm actually credited as the main visual effects person, but Doug actually edited a lot of the explosion visual effects. But when we show that, I'll talk about that more. But I actually didn't have as big of a role in the post-production as I did in the first Brawl video. This one, my primary role was really managing things so that everybody had what they needed, making sure that hotel rooms and equipment and shuttling them and things are on schedule and making sure people are fed. All these little.
Bhargav was our bitch. That's the way we're gonna put it. He was the bitch.
Line producer, but they handle all these logistical shit that isn't creatively oriented, but it's really really vital so that people
don't
survive.
Die.
Yeah, don't die. Things like having first aid kits and sunscreen lotion.
Which no one used.
Yeah, I think it was. I think 4 hours in, that's when I was like, "Hey, do you guys need sunscreen lotion?" They're like, "Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea." And some people are already burning at that point, so that is Reno for you.
And Brett said they got a tan out of this, so they got the summer pre-coat going on right there. But basically, the weather out there, it's desert, so basically everything was windy from what I was told, and there's always going to be an issue. This one I was actually really kind of worried about getting updates. I wanted to tell me how things were going and see how behind they were, because I had a feeling this one did have a pretty good chance of not being completed in the time frame I gave them. But thank God it did. I mean, we didn't invest too much money, but we invested enough money into this to make it be our most expensive production to date.
Yeah.
But I guess that's not saying much. I mean, our last big production was the 1 year anniversary. I mean, the NCs don't cost much to make, and Doug just gets them out. I mean, but we are going to be slowly in the next year or two going into higher quality productions, and kind of, I guess, slowly move away from the talking head shows that we currently do and kind of start getting into more grander pieces to kind of show what we really can do. Besides that, I'm hoping that we can do, because we do need to kind of graduate into that next level.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it is finding, people that can fill all these other roles. A professional film set, there's like 100 people running around, doing all kinds of obscure tasks. So it's working your way up to that. There's quite a few things that have to be set up.
I think we did the right path, though. I mean, initially, if you look at most web series, when they start out, they go balls in with huge production quality. They spend a lot of money, and they don't get the audience, and then they shut down. I mean, we kind of went in, Doug did what he did before, and people loved it. So we kept at it, and Doug kept at it, and it's grown to the point now where we can slowly start getting to that point where we are becoming a much more high-quality production company in the long run. I mean, we took the slower but cheaper path.
Yeah, it's the slow organic route, and it's hey, here's a visual effect that I did. This was a lot of fun. I love this joke. And he just walks out. I love that. Yeah, that was I think I worked on 3 visual effects. Everything else is all Doug. And yeah, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the production value. Yeah, yeah, I think going the organic route is definitely better. When I say organic, I mean starting out small and working your way up, and using the economics to slowly build. Instead of taking out huge loans, a lot of these companies, they take out, we just spent $250,000 on this production studio and it's awesome and we have all this investor backing, but then you're not totally
You're indebted
sure.
to them.
Yeah, exactly. You're now at a very expensive burn rate, right, on a monthly basis, and it's well, you don't know. You're kind of shooting in the dark whether you're gonna have that money coming back through ad revenue or whatever. So this is just a smarter way overall, because it keeps your costs low, and it forces you to think other ways. It forces you to forces Doug, to think in terms of, okay, I'm gonna keep these human to human interactions, and I'm gonna keep it comedy centric and nothing that requires these visual or set pieces that are going to be expensive and really time consuming.
I mean, Doug is a well-tuned machine right now. I mean, he wants to do 3 videos a week. I mean, sometimes I'll tell him you can do 2. No, I gotta get 3. I mean, he loves doing this. I mean, and that's the awesome thing. I mean, this is what he wanted to do. And people you're making money off the internet. You're not having a real job. This is a real job. I mean, basically, we have grown a company that started out at 3,000 people coming a day when we launched from Doug's YouTube following, which we might have gotten 5% of the actual users that viewed him on YouTube to come to the site. And in 2 years' time, we've gone up to 225, 250,000 people a day. I mean, it's a huge growth with no advertising. Everything has been word of mouth. And all our productions have cost next to nothing to make and have given us huge returns. I mean, initially when we were planning the company back in 2007, it was just myself and Bhargav, and we were getting ready to, we brought Ellison, and then we were going to do venture capital, and we just kind of backed out because we didn't want to have that burden of possibly being sold down the line. We wanted to have that creative control where we can do what we needed to do and have these fast decisions made to quickly change something in the company and roll something new out without having to go over a board of directors. So basically we took the very slow but very steady route, and we really lucked out. I mean, there's no magic bullet for our success. I mean, we didn't have a set plan of how we're going to do it. That got the glasses.com was kind of just a shot in the dark. It was something to put up there and see how it would do, and none of us expected how big it would get and how quickly it would get. Initially, we had a good traffic growth until we had the feud with James, and then the James feud gave us a lot of his fans to our site. And then after that, it just kind of kept growing through word of mouth. And I mean, people ask us all the time, I mean, how did you get where you got it? And I would say at least 40% of it has been straight luck. And just being a site that caters to what people want right now at the right time.
Yeah, I think his demographics is like 13 to 24 primarily.
13 to 25 males right now is our heavy demographic, but we actually are getting slowly more female, which is definitely interesting too.
Yeah, and the teen to 20 are the people that use the internet the most, and being an internet company, that works in our favor. And that's helped with the fact that we're able to maintain and grow our audience successfully as we have. Also, the fact that we're all kind of close together, at least the core team, we're all in Chicagoland, metropolitan area, more or less, and we're able to meet up face to face and deal with production and technical issues. And that's also for at least the starting point. That was very important, in the training and setting up of the tools that are needed, and what's involved in growing a producer. And once that got rolling, then it was like, oh, okay, now that we have a dedicated audience, now we can start bringing on other people, and that's where Mike pretty much hunted the internet to find other people, right? And then that slowly snowballed.
I think people have actually credited us as, what word would I use? I'm going to let you talk right now. I'm going to come up with a word, because apparently my mind isn't
growth.
Not growth. We've kind of like, I had the word in my head now. I can't think
catered
of it.
to the
No,
internet.
It's like, keep talking. We got talk. We're gonna change that. But basically, I mean, we collected a lot of. That's not the word I was looking for, but I'm just gonna use it anyway. We collected a lot of the angry reviewers. I'm doing air quotes right now, and kind of put them on one side. And that's kind of like the whole goal of Channel Awesome, is to make these sites that cater to one or two topics really heavily and kind of move forward. And we've been saying we're gonna get Blister Thumbs going, we're gonna get Bar Fiesta going, but we keep having little blocks, and now we're finally ready to get these sites going and really start our expansion in other areas, which will then eventually lead to our higher quality shows like the travel and food area, stuff like that. And we'll also have our shows like we did with That Got the Glasses, but start picking people that fall in that same mold to get people to keep coming back more. I mean, our whole thing is to find, I wouldn't say the best of the internet, but people that have the best personality and would work best with what we want to be done. And that's pretty much what we have right now. I mean, barring one or two people, we pretty much have everybody that's been here has stayed, and we have not gotten rid of anybody else.
Oh,
Special effect.
Yeah, right, special effects. So this is all Doug editing, right? But the actual effects themselves are from a effects package called what is it? It's Video Copilot's Action Essentials. I don't know if it was one or two, but anyways, it's like this $100 DVD which it comes with like high def explosions that are pre-matted, and it's pretty awesome because you can just drag and drop these. You don't have to use After Effects. You can use Premiere or Final Cut or whatever, and you can just put it directly into the timeline. They're already matted out, and all you have to do is essentially position it where you want it to be, where that explosion happens. So that sped up significantly, because I know if I had to do this, I probably would have spent way more time on things that ultimately didn't need that much time. Valuable lesson that I learned with the first brawl. But yeah, shouts out to Video Copilot, because that's what the majority of these explosion things. And there's there's like a few scenes. Obviously, there's this, and then at the end as well, there's a lot of this explosion stuff going on.
The good thing too, actually, that we did this in April is I had a feeling if this would have been a little bit later, May or June, you probably would have had a lot of bugs and animals out there that you wouldn't want to be running around or laying on the ground with the Linkara Mars girl seeing scorpions and snakes and spiders and shit that could kind of kill you, I guess.
Yeah, actually, when we were launching, when we're, like that week before everyone was going to be flying out, I sent an email to everybody saying, hey, these are the types of animals and things that you might be encountering, so just be careful. But luckily, we didn't really have to deal with that. It really, the only problem we had there was sun, which we were prepared for, which was the sunscreen, and then windy. And we were able to dub over some of the outdoor shots. I think Doug and Rob were able to handle that or edit it down so that wasn't an issue. I know a lot of these outdoor shots were really, really windy. You can see those trees wiggling around. And we had a good microphone with a wind guard or windscreen on it. But even still, even with a really nice windscreen, you have 20 mile an hour to 30 mile an hour winds at times, and it just got ridiculous. I know we were all eating pizza at one point, and a lot of our stuff was just flying all over the place, and we had to basically bust out the whole crew to search party the napkins and pizza pieces and plates and all the stuff that was flying all over the place. But other than that, there really wasn't that much of an issue in location. We had nice clear skies, consistent skies the whole time, and that really worked into our favor, because if we had a rain day, for continuity purposes, that would have been a nightmare editing wise. I always love this Giborio.
It's just a toy dream.
But yeah, I mean, as we go forward with this type of stuff, I mean, each year, I mean, I'm sure you all can say that from the first brawl to this one is 10 times, 100 times more advanced than what we did originally. I mean, it's much longer. Some scenes may seem to drag on a bit, but we kind of just wanted to have the whole story done and taken care of. I mean, like I said, give everyone an arc of some form, whether it be a small, quick arc or a longer arc, how Noah had with the Insane Obed.
Yeah, the first brawl was really...
cameos only.
It was cameos, and it was just people beating the shit out of each other. There really wasn't anything else. And then being interrupted by even more fighting, and then all this post-production stuff. Although I have to admit, I did enjoy the two Titans battling it out in the city. I thought that was a lot of fun, even though it was hard work. It was definitely cool to see that. This is not nearly as sophisticated visual effects wise, but everything else in terms of dialogue, length, logistics, it's much, much larger. Oh, this is the other visual effect that I did, and this is more or less a solarizing filter, and then a radial filter with glow, and then a particle effect at the very end. So pretty straightforward. I think Lee can use it at his leisure now for any time he needs to do a transformation.
You should almost let him go back to 2D by the end of it. That way he can keep his character in 2D.
Oh, do a conversion?
Back to 2D at the end of the video. We should have had him do that. That way then he could really pop in and out when he needs to, but...
Don't make us review you.
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is left hanging for a lot of characters, because there really is just so much going on. It's hard to tie up any loose ends that you see in terms of individual characters.
Yeah.
Their hopes and dreams and their fears and their transformations into something else. I know for my character, my Mati character, he has this really over-the-top Oracle scene, and then there's no mention of it ever again. So it's a lot of stuff that just kind of gets cut off, but it's okay. I think it works because the main thing is the invasion, and it focuses on the invasion, and that's the most important part, and everything else is more or less cameo filler, which is still a lot of fun.
I still wish you would have incorporated more of his government characters in there, though. Because if you go to paid, I mean, you have the Minister of Rocks and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. He He has like his own science and.
He had some great looking characters. I think Ba is probably the best guy. Not Ba, Fritz von Baron, or whatever, the minister, making things orderly.
Oh, right. They do have that at the very end, right?
Well, he used him, but he didn't use any other characters, though. I mean, that was Fritz right there.
Right.
But, like I said, we couldn't get much done. Like I said, we had not really too much time to get all this stuff done, but who knows? Our next year anniversary, we'll see what happens and what we do, but like I said, it's most likely going to be something local this time, where people are in Chicago, where we know Chicago, we're not going to some place we've never been to before.
Yeah, keep the costs a little lower.
Plus, Chicago has a lot of non-stop flights to it, so a lot of people don't have to worry about getting layovers. I still find it funny that Phalos was the only one of the three foreigners that we had come in, Ben, Matthew, and Phalos, that he was the only one that had problems getting into America, and he's from freaking Canada. I mean, that's our neighbors to the north. 3 years ago, you were able to go through there without even a passport. And Phalos and he just had issues. I mean, Bhargav had to take a call at like 4 in the morning, and
yeah, in the blooper reels but the video log that's on the DVD, you'll see the little segment with Phalos. And I basically was on the phone with this customs guy for half an hour, trying to explain, what he's doing here and why he's doing it, and it just dragged on for something that was so minor. It's like, are you paying him? Is he getting an income here? And I'm like, no, he gets a check through an internet hosting site.
And to clarify too, it was the Canadian officials, not the Americans. So America was not the problem in this case.
Yeah, apparently, like, you get put in this unconstitutional zone. So you have neither Canadian rights or American rights. You're just kind of in this place that where they just ask you questions, and they can pretty much do whatever they want, apparently. I guess that's more of a product of society and annoyances. But yeah, it is kind of odd, of all places, Canada, that he had the problem. But luckily he got through. I think he was delayed by like 7 hours.
That's still hell. I mean, you're in an airport for 7 fucking hours.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to take that.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Plus, it's like Halifax too, so it's not like it's the biggest airport in the world. So you probably have like not much going on there. I mean, I guess if you're in O'Hare or JFK or LaGuardia or anything like that in the big city airports, you can find something to do. But I don't think you'd find much to do in Halifax Airport. Just going with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had probably the longest trip. I mean, I think overall, Kaylin had the longest overall trip, because she's come from Japan. But he had probably the most unexpectedly longest trip because of all the stuff he had to deal with in customs.
Yeah, Kaylin's trip actually cost a little bit more money because I screwed up pretty bad. She was coming from Japan the same day that she would be flying out. She'd get in, and she landed in either Houston or Dallas, and she lives in San Antonio. So I had to book a ticket from Dallas to Reno, and it was a round trip. Not thinking that she doesn't live in Dallas, so the way back, she'd be flying back to Dallas, which is 4 hours away from San Antonio or whatever. And we had rebooked that, and then we had an issue with Brad's ticket at the end where Doug decided to not look at the sheet and thought Brad was leaving a day early and Lindsay was leaving the day late. No, Brad was leaving a day late and Lindsay was leaving a day early, and actually Lindsay left at normal time and Brad would leave a day early because Brad, like Tom last year who got married, Brad was getting married 3 days after this event, so every year now, 2 years in a row, we have a Channel Awesome affiliation wedding. So who will it be next year? We should have a little bet pool going on for that. A little numbers game. We'll do some Vegas odds with that. But every year now we've had someone get married. Right around the anniversary.
Yeah, Tom last year, and then Brad Jones this year. Yeah.
And I didn't learn it until I saw his vlog, but Brad hates flying with a passion, and I actually booked on window seats both times. So I feel a little bad for that. But I guess if you're a window, I mean, I think he said that it got him a little bit better because they were able to see out there or close it. But whenever I'm flying and I don't have a window seat and I see someone have a window seat and they close that damn blind, I want to kill them. Because if you have a window seat, you want to look out. You want to see the terrain below you.
See, if I'm ever having a window seat, I generally ask the people next to me, like, hey, is it cool if I close this?
See, at least you have some common decency right there. You're not an ass straight up just closing it and sleeping.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, most people, well, I'd say some people just don't care.
those are just generally the flights that when we're not booking them. I mean, if I'm booking, it's either aisle or window. And it's usually in the front so you can get off that damn plane quick because you want to get out and be done. But if anything for everyone, though, usually I asked them before, and most people want a window. But I think Brad, I just gave him a window on accident. But yeah, Sage actually too. He saved us a little bit of money. Sage is close to Reno, so he actually drove out there and took a train back. So that was pretty cool of him to do.
Where's Sage again?
He's off. I think he's by San Fran, a little bit higher north though. He was like an hour and a half drive from Reno.
Okay.
If those who don't know, Reno is nowhere near Vegas because originally I was like, I'm gonna drive up there. I'll bring all the equipment so we have to worry about the airlines breaking it. And then I realized that Reno is nowhere. It's 400 miles northwest of Vegas, so fuck that. And that driving to Vegas isn't bad, but driving an extra 6 hours to get up to Reno, that's not cool.
Yeah, that's gonna take some time.
That would kill somebody. But yeah. I think the funniest thing too is not many people found out about what was going on because Kevin actually had it on his webpage. The invasion, like the day after you guys were all done. I mean, I think we only got 1 or 2 emails from people asking if that was true. But no one really exposed that, and I guess I'm kind of happy about that because we had that going on for about 3 weeks before we actually got the trailer out. Where some people knew but didn't really spoil for everyone else about what we did for our 2-year anniversary.
Oh, I see. So that it was because his website was...
Yeah, Molossia.org actually had like a little note about an invasion, and then they had pictures of everyone there. But yeah, I mean, no one really spilled the beans on that. I'm actually thankful because I kind of wanted to keep this a secret as long as possible so we got the trailer out and let people enjoy it for what it is. I mean, if you're a fan of that guy with the glasses, you're going to enjoy it. If you're new to the site and you're showing it to a friend that doesn't know about us, they're not going to enjoy the video really because they don't know the characters, they don't know the inside jokes, and I mean, we never planned on making it a movie that.
It's really hard for this to be self-contained, by itself. You can't. It's got to be in relation to how you know the other producers. So it is more for the hardcore fans.
And that's what we wanted to give this to. I mean, we want it to be for people that have been with us for a long time and view more people. And if they watch us and decide to view other people that were on this video that they never saw before, that's what we wanted it to happen.
Although, it's probably not that bad because it uses these archetypes for, like the Spoonies character for transformation, or like Lindsay's Sarah Palin stuff. So there's a few jokes that you can get without knowing anything about the site, and that that are just, a lot of this is also just slapstick.
True.
So you could just jump right into this, but yeah, this is more for a younger audience. I think if you're, in your mid-30s or something, you're probably not going to care too much. I don't know. We have a pretty diverse audience, so I shouldn't say anything. But, yeah, generally it's the younger people that really get into these things.
But yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest complaints is James was in there. He's had a cameo, but our arc with James is done. I mean, Doug will agree and James will agree. There's no point in them doing anything fighting-wise anymore. I mean, it doesn't close the door on doing some joint work down the line, but they're not going to be fighting again. We're not going to do another brawl, really. I mean,
Yeah.
It's been there and it's done. This was kind of had homage to the brawl in certain areas, but going forward, it's going to try to be a completely different idea each time. I mean, our next anniversary, like I said, is going to be more of a relaxed one. But we'll still let people come out, and we still haven't really gotten the idea out, but it's going to be different. I mean, it won't be like this. It won't be as epic as this. I don't think we're going to be able to top something like this for a long time.
I think you could top it. But topping it and having it relaxed, I don't know if that's going to be possible.
Yeah, I think we're going to need to relax here. So we're going to be taking a break, really, next year. I mean, we'll be giving them more of a vacation, and they'll still film something big. They'll be nowhere near what the scale was. Nowhere near. I think after this one, they were all dead, pretty much going bad. They all pretty much the general consensus was, I love being there, but damn, I'm dead.
Yeah, that's true. Producers were really busting their asses. at this because they were, when they're not in production, they're doing, obviously they're sitting on the sidelines waiting for their shots and whatnot. So it's a lot of, that's what acting is, guys. In case you're wondering, it's a lot of sitting around waiting for your scene to come up.
Like 15-hour days, 3 days in a row. At a location.
But then when they're coming back to the hotels, they're some of them will just collapse. But a lot of these guys were getting more vlog footage and shooting, their crossover videos. So it was pretty nonstop. We got to hang out every now and then, but maybe an hour here and there. But it was nonstop production, waiting, and then handling your own production. There's the Kickassia stuff, and then there's your own stuff, and bouncing back between the two. So it was a pretty intense week for everybody.
I mean, our next time we'll get people together will actually be in December when we do our now annual donation drive for the Ronald McDonald Children's House charities. We'll actually have a little bit more this time than last year of people coming in, and it'll be in the new location too. We'll have room for more people than Doug's old small room.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be the next time you'll have a chance to see everyone together. We might have some people come up before that, but we haven't really set anything in stone yet. I think Brad was probably the one that got the biggest boost from looking at the numbers of what he did before Kickassia and what he did after. He seemed to jump like 50% in terms of people checking out the stuff on his site. So he pretty much got the biggest boost out of all this. I think it was Brad, and then Phalis, and I think Film Brain got a lot of his audience that he kind of, I guess you'd say, pissed off when he did Equilibrium. And that was a review. I knew that probably would have some problems with people. It's a pretty big cult movie. Even though the ending's absolutely stupid as hell. I mean, come on. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have seen...
You think a massive fight scene going on there? Was Ty Diggs or was that Therese?
Well, a lot of people I know, they didn't care about the movie. They just cared about that one fight scene.
It was horrible, though. I mean, he slices them, and then it's got horrible graphics. They spent their whole budget for the first 90% of the movie. At the end, we need an ending. And then the dude does, like some fifth grader did some Photoshop or Premiere effects going on, and his face gets sliced.
Yeah, the whole movie I didn't really care for, to be honest. But yeah, it does have a cult following. I think he did a fine review, and he does really well in this thing. All of his bits, he has a really fun character. This kind of suck up character to the NC. And then he kind of loses it, and he's got a real childish charm to him, very playful charm. So it shows that he can really act, and I think that's definitely given him the boost that he deserves.
But I'm glad though, because he's been with us kind of from the beginning. I think he was the first article writer I picked up, and then he went into videos.
Okay.
And I mean, he deserved a shot to get his audience back, and I think he did after this video. And he was probably the only guy that was hesitant about coming. He hasn't been on a plane in a while, and I think his vlog talks about it a little bit. And he was the only guy where I booked insurance on, because he was like ready to back out a couple of times because he was nervous about doing a 17-hour flight. So I actually booked the insurance on him, but I mean, he came through, and I'm glad he got here and back. I'm sure it was a hell of a trip. I mean,
what was the deal with Benza? Didn't he wasn't he concerned about health? Because like France, universal health care and stuff like that.
No. Benzai, I was going to book insurance on just because of stuff, but I didn't. But no, Benzai was cool. He didn't have a problem coming. He never has a problem coming. He will come. If we brought him in once a month, every month for a week, he'd come.
Yeah.
And he loves everyone. Generally, the cool thing about this is everyone that is in this video, everyone on the site for the most part is friends. They all talk. We all talk. I mean, via Skype. We all have each other's phone numbers. People get together to hang out. And they're all friends, and they really like getting together and just having a chance to all hang out together as a big group. I mean, it's really friendship. It's not just co-workers, co-producers. Everyone here is kind of like part of a family. And for the most part, everyone gets along. I mean, there's still small little quibbles and... Would that be the right word? Quibbles?
Quibbles?
Is quibbles a word?
I was thinking kibbles and bits.
Kibbles and bits, yeah. I mean, basically, small little squabbles is, I think, the word I'm looking for. And I'm really brain dead today, apparently. And
no, but it's true though. It's true though. We are very much a family, and everybody does just kind of hang out. I Of course, here they're kind of forced to hang out, but generally after a 16-hour day, you do want to just go to your hotel room
And be alone.
Yeah, be alone. But yeah, I think for the most part, it was a lot of fun to be around these guys, and they really enjoy each other's company.
And for the most part, to save costs, everyone is two to a hotel room. I don't know if you ever said that
Yes.
before, but everyone is two to a hotel room, so you're going to be with that person for 6 days, you better like them.
Right.
And for the most part, I mean, I actually would, for all of it, everyone got along really well in that type of situation.
Dramatic music.
But I'm really hoping that they actually gave. I know it initially didn't. I know after this video was released, Velocity had a huge spike in traffic. If you look at the stat stuff, a huge spike. But hoping in the long run it does increase tourism for him, because that dude was just so awesome, and what he was able to help us with, and just giving us his house for 3 days, and just being there to film while he has a normal job Monday through Friday. He sacrificed his weekend for us pretty much.
Yeah,
Same
I
with
mean,
the family.
every single shot that you see inside their house, it's basically like 20 people behind the camera, like huddled around it, or, in another area of the house. And, yeah, it's just ridiculous. And of course, like every now and then, Mr. Ba and family, are shuttling kids around. And so it was though it looks empty, it was packed. It's just whatever you see in that shot is empty, but it's just, if you look in the behind the scenes footage and my vlog, you'll see that there's just, it was just full of bodies, and then on top of that, the family's there. It's just it was just incredible that they were able to have the patience deal with that, not for like an hour or two, but for like 3 days straight, which is just incredible.
I think we need to buy the kids Christmas gifts though. I think we owe them that. Send them a little care package for Christmas.
Hey man, it's recorded, so
it's gonna happen now.
It's gonna happen. If you suggest it, it's gonna happen.
I think we do. I think like the bar we gave them a bottle of wine. I know they replaced the toilet paper that they used, water and all that stuff. But really, he gave us his house for 3 days, and I don't think many people would do that.
No.
And I was really impressed with how good everything turned out. I mean, this thing could have been a disaster of a production. This one bad weather day could have screwed everything up.
Right. Yeah, originally I was supposed to be acting in it. I was supposed to be like the main... I was actually going to play myself. It wasn't going to be Monty, it was just going to be Bhargav as himself. And I am very glad I turned that down, even though that it was fun, and it would be a lot of scenes like, hey, who are you again? And it's like, I'm Bhargav. And I didn't think it was that funny. I thought...
But people love you, Bhargav. The more screen time you get, the more people are going to love you. You're going to have a cult of Bhargav pretty soon with this Mati character. But then you're going to be typecasted.
Cult of Bhargav.
It's going to be the cult of Mati, and you're going to be typecasted for life.
Yeah.
So you have to play Bhargav once in a while.
Yeah, eventually that will break through. But for this production, it was just really good that I was doing all the logistical background stuff, because if I had also had to be on set most of the time, that would have led to some serious issues in terms of shuttling things, shuttling supplies, getting food, whatever it is there's all kinds of trips that I think I went on a Kinko's run. There's all this stuff that I had to get, and if I was stuck on set, that would have been disastrous. And I know Rob, I think that was kind of his original responsibility, was to do logistics, but having him, be DP and then also do logistics stuff, forget it. He's already exhausted doing 16-hour days, just doing camera work, constantly. So it just worked out. I'm just really glad that I was able to still get a decent scene in there, but be able to make sure that the production as a whole was running smoothly.
The hotel too was better than I thought it would be. Even though it was a 4-star when I booked it, the price was pretty cheap. I guess if you guys ever want to go on vacation, Reno hotels are very cheap for 4 or 5-star. I mean, you can get a 5-star for like $150 a night. And
ours was a 4-star.
4-star, yeah.
4-star.
4 or higher going for it. Nothing but the best for my people.
Nice.
Nothing but the best. But I'm surprised. Like basically, whenever we go to a hotel, I mean, we make a lot of noise, and the only time I actually found it very funny was watching the Brad Jones Famous Troll 4 video, where that person like they're telling to shoot and they're like, "Don't shush me," as they're walking through the hall. I don't know if you saw that part.
The what exactly happened?
During the Phaelus and Brad Jones video, they had Troll 4, they're in the hallway, and there's people walking by, and someone was loud, and someone went, shh, and like, don't shush me! So I think the only time we actually had outside people interaction in the video, I actually found that quite funny. It made the video really funny with that part. Because it's kind of like in the back, and you hear it, and they're trying to keep character, but you know they're paying attention to that.
Yeah, a lot of the crew was on the old people floor. I don't know if you guys go to like Reno and
I don't think many people want to go to Reno. I mean, Las Vegas, yes.
Reno is kind of the
redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna do some family connection, but yeah, it's a lot of old people there. Like most of I hardly saw any young people.
It's a Boca Raton.
Yeah, I mean in terms of visiting there and gambling and doing whatever, it was primarily older couples that I saw there.
But it's not Raton.
Yeah.
The north.
Right.
But I mean, Reno. Basically, the whole thing is like if they had time, like if I was gonna go there, I would have wanted to visit Lake Tahoe, which is kind of southwest, but it's just too hard when you do this type of stuff. But yeah, never again will we ever be in Reno. I don't think.
Oh, speaking of Reno, I have this whole rant on the vlog, and I totally bitch out Reno as a whole. But I actually had a lot of fun. And what I found out is that the people there are really, really nice. Like, Ba family was great. But in general, just like, going to places and talking to just people that were on the gambling floor, they're actually just really, really nice people. And I'm wondering if it's because their whole state is basically...
It's a service state.
Yeah, it's surrounded. It's the economics are surrounded by sin, essentially. Gambling and prostitution. I don't think there's a whole lot other stuff economically, right?
No,
in Reno.
No, not really. They have a little bit of. If you go to Vegas, you end up driving to the Hoover Dam. But
yeah, it's primarily a tourist place.
Lake Tahoe, yeah. Lake Tahoe is a pretty good place. That's all it is. What else can you do? You can't grow anything there. You can't do much there.
Right, and I think most of the people...
Well, gold back in the day, too, I guess you would say.
Back
in the day, so 1800s, you had gold going on, and then we have no more gold. What are we going to do? Let's take people's money by gambling with prostitution, and there we go. That's what they had. Did you end up gambling, though? Because I know last time we were at Detroit, you didn't want to gamble with me ever again.
Yeah. I actually did not gamble. Actually, Doug and Rob didn't gamble either. They ended up buying sushi instead. I think I bought a T-shirt. That was about. Actually, it wasn't a T-shirt. It was a nice dress shirt. Actually, you know what? It was the shirt that I'm wearing in one of these. Not in this, in the vlog. It's the black shirt. I actually bought that at Reno. So yeah, I didn't gamble.
You need to start gambling again. You need to get back on that.
I need to start gambling again?
You do. I just won't force you to bet all your money again.
I was on a pretty good roll that one time.
You were.
In Detroit.
I think I popped 2 cherries and it was Bhargav's first time gambling and it was Joe's first time gambling. I think it might have been... No, it wasn't Lewis's, but he was in there just playing blackjack 24/7 when he was there. He played for a long time and I started Joe and Bhargav in roulette and that's not the game.
Yeah, I like roulette.
But it can kill you though if you start going.
Oh yeah, double or nothing. It's usually nothing.
You start throwing a stack on a number.
Yeah.
What I had you to do.
Yeah, there's some crazy people doing that, and of course they lose. But yeah, I like to play to win. But
you can't go with that mentality. Otherwise, you're gonna hate your life. You're gonna turn into why it was like 5 years ago, where you went in with
you'll be rich.
Bucks.
You'll be rich 5 times, and then you'll be broke the rest of your life.
I still find it funny whenever we went to that Detroit place where they couldn't have the ATMs on the casino floor. Like it looked like an ATM, there was like some ticket machine, and like we were looking for the ATM at the time, and then we found out it was like on the basement floor because they can't. Detroit for some reason, Michigan, holier than thou can't have. You can gamble, you can have addiction to gambling, but God forbid you have the ATM on the same floor as the casino. You gotta walk your fat ass down.
That place was freaking. That was like a 5-story. like.
I think it was the biggest building left standing in Detroit that was actually
Motor
occupied.
City, right? That's
yeah,
what it's
Motor
called?
City, like, gambling.
Yeah, that place was freaking huge. And, like, that's like all these other buildings are off, their lights are off, everything's shut down, and then you just have this giant Motor City in Detroit. But anyways, back to our productions, and that's what we're...
Yeah, we're sidetracking. I'm sidetracking Bhargav, and I apologize to people who are still listening to this right now.
What's going... Oh! This is... I love this. The exile. That's it. That's the other big thing. The exile of Brad. Yeah. That was the other main character arc. So he's like Yoda now.
Oh, good. I'll pack a lunch.
May your honor be stricken forever. May your name always be associated with douchebaggery. And may you walk until you walk no more.
Is that the Tower of Winds back there? Because I know he has a Tower of Winds.
Yeah, everything in the Molassia State is...
Oh, there's a space monument too, right there.
Yeah,
right
the little
walking.
pole thing is...
That's their space monument, which is awesome. And the Tower of Winds, if you read their history of the website, has been knocked over by wind a couple times, which is right there to its left.
It gets pretty windy. I think there was a time when it was almost at 30, 40 miles per hour winds. Luckily, we had already finished. It was just indoor shots at that time. That was like dumb luck.
Yeah, I think we can never do something like that again, like I said, with the bad weather after we left and the potential for not having people getting back home in Europe. Pretty much someone's way of telling us, don't ever do this again. We'll give you it this time.
And here comes the epic shot of Jones leaving.
I still love 3D Lee. Just the few lines he had were pretty memorable for me. You did some good views though. I mean, you get the mountains in the background and you have everything.
Yeah.
It's a pretty scenic place.
I think Mickey, Tom, Joe, they got bored, so they ended up climbing that mountain, which is also in the vlog.
Man, you're plugging that vlog like crazy. Check it out. For a limited time.
We just watched it before this, so it's fresh in my head.
I'm going with at least 2 more vlog mentions before we're done. We'll see what happens. And this is Bhargav's big scene, so I'm going to let him talk.
Oh, yeah, so originally I was supposed to play myself, and then it was actually Mod T, and then it was myself. We switched it. And then as we got closer to production, it became very clear to me that I had to be somebody that was primarily doing, logistics and line producing stuff. So this is back in Chicago, and this is just kind of inserting me randomly. This was originally going to be shot outside at like a street light or something, and but it was windy as hell. We thought this was so strange because this night when we were filming this, it was like 40-mile-an-hour winds in Chicago. So then we just kind of retrofitted it to... That's one thing I really love about Doug and Rob. They're able to just on the fly, no big deal, we'll just kind of switch it up. And it actually works better in some ways because it's now it's the Mati character, trying to remind him of who he is, and this was just all totally ad-lib too. And that whole little moving forward, a lot of people think I'm like on a skateboard or something. That's actually just me moving forward. It's like doing a little dance move where you're just kind of sliding forward. So I'm actually a little shorter than normal, so I look really, really tiny now. But yeah, that was there's a few good takes of me just like crashing into him because I can't stop. I always felt that I should be looking at him, but I'm just looking at the wall in front of him, which is a little awkward, but whatever. It's all meant to be a little dramatic. This ending line, all this You're a Fool stuff is the same, but originally it was going to be, you'll be the death of us all. And I changed that whole last line to you can't change your you can't change your destiny. You can only choose to meet it. I thought it just sounded cooler, and it worked better because I'm not really seen anywhere else in the entire film. So saying that you'll be the death of us all didn't really work. So I think the line just ends off more epic, and that was my moment of glory.
So now, typecasted moment, of course.
Yes, of course.
And now the big transformation scene.
You're not seriously suggesting you wouldn't suspect us all if just you go. No! You're crazy! You're all crazy! Come on, quit being a poo stabber and just do it. No!
Sage with that bandana looks like he belongs in East LA. Really. He does.
I could picture him walking around with a boombox or something.
Got Spike Lee producing a movie about him.
I think we're officially now just watching.
We can't watch the scene though, but yeah, we'll continue talking. We'll find something else out. We'll play a game.
We'll do rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, we'll do the best of for the next 20 minutes. Keep a tally. Let you know who wins. You got Joe's high face right there.
This whole segment, what is this, part 3?
This is
part 4.
End of part 4, beginning of part 5, maybe?
Yeah. We'll find out soon enough.
We forget it's all together now. This is all one big episode now. So
yeah, right. We're seeing it as one big thing. But this is really the Act 2.
Yeah,
this is probably my favorite part. Because everything is like building up. And I'm also in it, so I like that too.
I still like how the transformation scene was done, though, with the whole coat coming down. This like Noah has 3 fingers.
Yeah,
is that a purpose, the 3-finger look?
It's very claw-like. Yeah, I just love how so cheap this is. But it's also so epic. Oh, speaking of epic music, this also comes from the Video Copilot. I think it's like Epic Soundtracks or something like that. But yeah, they have a lot of cool stuff for these low-budget productions where you can get that kind of movie trailer, summer blockbuster movie trailer type music. And Doug uses that quite a bit. There's also a lot of archive non-copyright music on here.
And this is the first project we've done that we had to stay away, that we decided to stay away from anything copyright.
Yeah.
We pretty much went all things with buying what we needed or having Skitch do the opening theme. He did a couple other small things for us too. Originally Skitch was going to score the whole thing, but didn't have the time, and we were kind of over-ambitious with him being able to get a whole score done in 3 weeks. Guess we weren't thinking at that time.
Right.
But you got the main theme. Originally, the main theme that we used in the demo piece that floated around to our people who were in this and the people on the site, internal FTP we have, was the John Adams theme. And I don't think anything can get better than that. But I think Skitch did a really good job and got it really, really good, as close to that as possible. And if you don't know what the John Adams thing is, just watch the intro to the John Adams miniseries, and you'll be in love with that theme. Yeah, I think people are complaining this fight was too quick, too cheesy. But you guys got to remember we didn't have much time for all this, and a lot of things that we wanted to do, that Doug wanted to do, and Bhargav and Rob, had to be cut in the long run, just to make sure we got this done. And yeah.
Yeah, for me, there wasn't really. This was pretty much just a visual effects thing on my end, and this is the third and. Yeah, it was. What the hell is that guy? The character in the portal thing, the Smith character. So there's the Smith, there's Lee's transformation, and then there's the lightning stuff in this fight, and that was all the visual effects that I did. Although this one was a bit more time consuming. There's some handheld roto work going on, which you will see. Yeah, this is the part that reminds me of the original Brawl. It was just this really slapstick type of action, and that one was pretty much the entire movie was, it was like half hour, right? A little over half hour.
I think the whole Brawl was a half hour. I mean, you had the intro, which was about 5 minutes till they got going, and then you had the ending, which kind of had like a 2-minute end, so we had like a 23-minute Brawl. 23 minutes of pretty much impromptu work last year.
Right. So that was non-stop fighting. This one, there's a little bit more going on.
Had a story to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually we are running out of stuff to talk about now. I think we're dying here.
Oh, in terms of the trips, I had a lot of help from Chris Larios in terms of getting food.
Shout out.
Lord Cat, Linkara helped as well, and then Lindsay helped as well. So between the four of them, it was mainly Chris that was doing the heavy lifting, but yeah, it's though we didn't plan for that, it was good that not everybody was needed in every scene. I could kind of pick away one or two people. Larios' main thing was the newsreel segment in the earlier part of Act 2 of the Kickassia. So after that, he was pretty much free, for like 10 hours at a time. So that was perfect that he could help me out. And it just worked out really well. You can use your actors as production assistants. That is always a plus.
Whatever happened to the purity of unarmed combat? Well, this is just superconductor electromagnetic.
I was originally going to do this effect where they had lightning bolts coming from every single fingertip. But then I saw the amount of time it took to go frame by frame and, put that thing, put the lightning bolt on just the hand. I was like, this is probably going to take long and this needs to be released in 2 days. Should probably not worry about that. I think it still looks okay. You probably would get more lightning going on, but I think this serves a purpose.
Yeah, it looked fine. Wasn't bad.
One thing that you guys will notice is that the lightning itself stays the same size. So like that one shot where he's standing up, striking when he's down, it looks gigantic. It looks like this giant beam coming out of his hand. But then when you do a close-up, it's like this tiny little beam. So it's just the same size no matter what. And I probably could have made that better, but yeah, like right there, it looks like these giant beams were there, and there's a tiny little stream coming
We had not one complaint about that, and now that you mention it, we're gonna have complaints and people are gonna be bitching about that.
There it is.
You just set yourself up for failure, Bhargav. I sent it to you to 3 more
That's
years.
that's why you always keep your mouth shut. You don't talk about these sorts of things. But whatever. That was a lot of fun to animate.
You can actually tell the costume looks like it's ready to fall apart by now too.
Yeah, actually, Noah broke one of his glasses, his Insano glasses. Luckily, he had
more than one.
Yeah.
Do like a suitcase full of Insano guy always opens it up.
I was like, wow, that's really incredible that you happen to have another one. But I think they're just like this cheap piece of shit plastic, so they're really easy to break. And he's already broken like 2 of them apparently, so he's like, I knew I had to have extras.
Someone conspiring against me? What gave you that idea? When he says somebody's conspiring against me. I didn't say that. I still have so much more science to do. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh, but a few holes in the doctor. No! Then what's going on? I want my mommy. Nothing. I assure you nothing.
Doing a full-length commentary is pretty tough.
Yeah, this is. What are we at? What are we at in terms of time?
A minute and an hour 9.
Yeah.
A minute, yeah, we've been here for a minute. But no, I mean, we're kind of running out of stuff to talk about. I mean, we can go into other tangents if you like, if we could. That don't relate to this at all. Personal stories. I used to work in Englewood. If you don't know, that's the most dangerous place in Chicago. Any chance I was there, I had a chance to die, so that's good.
Was that during Comcast days?
No, strictly Comcast. I worked in Frankfurt and Overland Park. Very nice areas, but some very creepy houses that were upkept in the first floor. The basements were a little freaky. But the Englewood thing is where I worked at up until 09, and I heard gunshots. See, look at that perfect cue. You heard gunshots? I've heard gunshots on my job when I was there. And, yeah. Englewood, if you look it up in Chicago, if you're in any area in Englewood, you have a 1 in 3 chance of being involved in a violent crime at any given time. So, yeah. And, what else can we talk about?
I don't know. I got sucked into the moment of the scene. Very dramatic.
You're a very caring guy.
That's right. I have a whole rant on caring. That was my Christmas thing.
Look at this tie-in we're doing here. Look at this.
Bam.
At least he died a good, strong man.
And 3-dimensional.
I think Doug actually took over a lot of the camera work when Rob was in costume. So Doug was acting, directing, cameraing.
Doug does it all. He is a machine.
Yeah, he was doing like everything. I'm surprised he didn't eat that much. Like when he gets into his, I think he had like a slice of pizza, and I'm like, "Do you want to eat more?" And he's like, "No."
Maybe he was watching his weight bar. Go, why do you have to be so mean?
No, I think
he's watching his figure.
I think he was.
He had to go to Maui in like 2 months.
I think he was so like focused on like what he's doing that he's just like, whatever. Food doesn't mean anything. But yeah, he was totally in the zone. Like every moment he's looking at the what are those storyboards? That's it. Yeah.
Now we have Cameo City coming up. I think a lot of people were complaining that we didn't have like who they were, but if you watch the site, you'll know who most of them are. We'll name them though right now, I think. Can you name them all with me? We're playing a game right now. Let's go, Bhargav. How well do you know your staff?
Oh God.
That's Sean Foss. That's Mike J. You didn't know that.
Yeah, I did not know that.
That's Ghoul Larry.
Oh,
Chrissy. I'm beating you. That's Cold Guy.
Cold Guy. Yeah.
Loomis Gamer.
Yeah.
I win. That's Lanny and his girlfriend. That's Scott. That's Doug. That's
Brian Hines.
Damn it!
Boom!
That's
Sinclair.
Jewish guy.
Sinclair Sampson. He's got like 5 aliens.
That's Dino, Lee's girlfriend.
Dina, yeah.
That's the cat. That's the
that's
Jewish
also
guy again.
Sinclair as his other aliens.
That is Kaiser. That is Nick, and that is Masako. That's Doug. I win, I think.
Yeah. What exactly is this spoofing? Like Care Bears?
I think it's the Pokemon thing that Doug reviewed when they try to bring them back. I think it's that and then Care Bears too. It's a little bit of everything, and that was shot in Chicago as well.
Yes.
We have to think of something and think of something fast.
I don't know. I still think Dr. Insano might work.
I feel like a puppy that's been raped by a bulldozer.
No more Mr. Insano. We have to think of something else.
I think our last option after our last option is Linkara.
Yeah, you might have a point. What do you say, Linkara?
Then you have the cameo that everyone was waiting for coming up in like another 2 minutes, and then you have the ending, and we are definitely running out of things to talk about. So the whole thing is me talking about how we have no things to talk about. I could probably do that for a while.
Mixed with my love of planning destruction might serve us well.
So you'll do it?
Yeah, I actually wasn't for these scenes. I actually wasn't there, so I think I went to get a haircut.
You got a haircut in Reno?
Yeah, everybody thought I went to the spa, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna spend, $200.
Why not? You could pamper yourself once in a while. You
Maybe.
need Bhargav time.
Yeah. Well, it was nice. Definitely when they were filming this, I was like, oh, I'll just chillax for a little bit.
Yes, it is also going to serve as our battle plan. Now then, just assume that Northern Europe here is a government house, and Greenland is the backyard.
I haven't played Risk in years.
Whenever I used to play that as a kid with my family, it turned into a lot of fights. Like, we had an alliance while you
For me, it was Monopoly. That was the fight one. Risk, it was just like, oh, this is taking a really long time.
Risk, it's all about either getting Australia, it's all about getting Australia and South America, then slowly moving into Africa and North America. That's what it's all about. If you go for Asia at first, you're a fool. Same thing with Europe.
Yeah, although I did get Europe once, but I didn't win the game.
Europe's an end game type of thing. If you get South America and Australia held, then you get that little area, Siam and the old one, I think it's like Thailand now, and then
Yeah.
South America, you go into North Africa and Central America. You got a good stronghold going. You can expand from there.
Yeah, Africa is not that bad. I've done it with Africa.
Africa, you could expand and break up the sets that if they do get all of Asia, they can take out one of the countries pretty quickly and make them not get 7 points.
Yeah.
7 men.
He does a pretty short explanation. I thought he was going to get into the dice thing, but maybe that's too specific.
That's want to be close.
Yeah.
It's close to what you needed to know and as quick as possible, and still give him a cameo.
I think, he spent like 30 seconds? 40 seconds?
Told you a lot in 30 seconds.
That's true. He does put out a lot of information.
I like the board James character. I do.
But this game is so much more fun, though. We're planning a takeover.
Who is it?
It's film brain. How do they know it's really you? I wouldn't want you to know it's me, so I wouldn't admit it was me.
Confusing enough.
What are you doing here, bitch snitch?
I want to help you take down the critic. That is, if you still have me. Yeah? How do we know you're not going to double cross us? Because
We've had like a minute of silence.
Yeah, I know.
We gotta finish this off. We gotta finish it off strong. Otherwise, people are never gonna want to hear our commentaries again, Bhargav.
Oh, I love,
There.
Kaylin is totally underplaying her femininity. It's kind of a running theme in these videos. But she really got into that character, and she loved it. So
Look at half of the comments, half the people on the side are like, she's hot in that army uniform. I don't know about it. Something about that army uniform.
Yeah,
they
actually,
like her in that.
she tried out. I remember we went to an army surplus store to get some of these army-esque things, and that's where pretty much Kaylin got all her stuff. Her entire look came from that, which there really isn't much to it. It's like gun plus jacket and glasses. But yeah, she really pulls off the badass look.
Saves in that Uzi every scene, yes.
Poor Tom. He's a flagpole in this.
Was he cool with it though? Was he cool? Was he mad?
Um,
Do you want more part? I don't know.
I don't think so, but I don't know. Maybe he's hiding it and he's secretly.
I mean,
hating
Mickey
us.
kind of ursed to him after the brawl, and now it gets more of the lines, unfortunately. But that's a throwback to the video of Rob and Doug going to fight James. The behind the scenes, that's what they were singing in the car.
Oh,
I don't know if any people got that.
wow! I totally would not have figured that out. Oh, so these are once again more Doug editing visual effects using the Video Copilot stuff.
Do you own stock in Video Copilot? Because you've been nothing but plugging it. I bet. You would say it's like Video Copilot. Did you know you can see that Video Copilot?
They are awesome.
They're on sale right now, Video Copilot. They have a
are-
coupon.
They are pretty awesome because a lot of the stuff that I've learned, especially for the first Brawl, like how to animate things, it was all through watching their training sessions, which they offer for free. So.
Wow, that's a plug if I ever heard one.
Hey, you asked.
You want to spell out the domain too? VIDEOCOPILOT.
You asked, man. I'm just trying to explain. I think originally they wanted to have reins on Tom.
Yeah,
like horse reins, but that didn't quite.
Yeah, Doug actually called for that description. Like, that's kind of degrading for Tom. I'm kind of glad Tom didn't do that.
Well, actually, it was more of we didn't have the electrical tape to like make a fake reins either, so it was just like, all right, the hell with it.
But yeah, I mean, when you watch this video, like I said, most people kind of took it a little bit too seriously, and it's nothing but fun. It's all it's not.
Yeah, there is nothing serious at all about this.
The ending was going to be a little bit longer, but we didn't have time to film it. I mean, basically, we just want to get this through, give everyone their parts, and have it be a fun video. I mean, don't look seriously into this. There's no lasting implications of this, what's going on. I mean, it's its own little piece and its own little world, and that's really about it.
Who would have thought dictatorship would be so one-sided? Famous. After all the good ideas I came up
You know, there's still like 5 minutes left.
Yeah, there's a little more than 5.
Oh, is there? Yeah.
Sorry, critic, but you shot one Santa Christ too many.
Oh, you're such a twerp.
You're a twerp.
Man, Phalos looks just completely insane.
You know, I really expected Kickassia to kick a little more ass.
He pulls the look off pretty well.
Yeah.
He's Canadian though, that's why. No
It,
offense, though.
it reminds me of Here's Johnny from The Shining. It's very much that look. And then, of course, you have Brad Jones, who actually talks like Jack Nicholson.
Weren't you Dr. Insano?
Yeah, I got better. The age of Kickassia has come to an end. I think a new
Did you have like coconuts do that noise, or did you just? Edit
No,
it?
I think they must have. That I didn't add that sound effect. That was Doug.
You've had your fun running this country, critic. Well, now
I do love Canada though, so I don't want us to make Canadians. I'm a fan of Toronto and Ottawa and Montreal. Never been west yet though.
Their healthcare is pretty nice too, overall.
I'm just not a fan of their highways because when you're driving in America, the left lane is for driving really fast. In Canada, it's for passing. I get yelled at.
Oh.
Plus, it's really boring because you'll see a sign for a town, but the town's like 5 miles in. Like one time out, the only place you can get gas really is in Oasis because you'll see it down the road. Like I was out low on gas one time and like gas next 2 miles, and I get off. It's like some random town 10 miles in that's got one gas station that's circa 1950. So I didn't get gas there, mind you. I had to go 10 miles back out to the highway.
So you can only use the left lane for passing, and that's
Really,
it.
that's how it's supposed to be in Canada.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then, like I said, the highways, it's barren. Like ours, you see towns, you see everything, and you'll go through cornfields, but you'll see civilization. In Canada, you'll see a sign for a town, but you won't see the town anywhere. It could be like 300,000. It'd be like Hamilton, Ontario, like 300,000 people, and the town is like way off to each side. It's really weird. Like Toronto, you drive in, you'll go straight into Toronto. But a lot of the towns are like kind of situated away from the highway. I think Hamilton you actually kind of saw, but a lot of the other towns, you'll see signs for towns, you'll see nothing. I don't like that about that. The highway's very boring. And I don't like seeing the Wendy dollar meal be like $1.30 when I was there last time. That's when American currency actually had its value still.
Well, there's definitely a lot more Department of Transportation infrastructure and car company lobbying so that we have more roads in general.
But they have roads, it's really boring. There's nothing to see other than the scenery that you'll see through the same thing. I mean, maybe if you go far enough east and you start seeing moose like flying the highway, then that'd be interesting.
Well, here it's all cornfields. Well, at least in the Midwest, anyway.
Once you go west, yeah. East is Indiana, and you just need to have a gas mask when you go through Indiana. Especially Gary. That place will kill you.
Really that nice?
Yep.
And Michigan's kind of a shithole now unless you go on the coast.
What I can tell you is this, that I am the new ruler
And Ohio's really boring, too.
and they're gonna be
If they lose LeBron, they have no economy. Go Bulls. LeBron and Bosch.
It was my insight that overthrew this.
My AC kicked on.
That's good.
We're recording this at my house.
Yeah,
So-
we're kind of dying now, so we're stretching. The one thing I would love to see, because I would love to see the Cleveland River set on fire, wherever the river that goes through Cleveland. I heard it set on fire before. I'd like to drive through Cleveland one day and see the river on fire. I'd probably just
Oh,
put me
is
on a
there
walk
some
with- It's really
natural
polluted.
gas
It's
pocket
really
or something?
polluted.
Oh, okay.
Like Lake Erie around there is really polluted. Like I don't know if you'd ever want to go for a swim in Lake Erie, but yeah, no. I'm not a fan of Ohio. If you ever got that yet. It's a really long state to drive. It's like 5 hours through.
No, I've never been to Ohio. I know a lot of people have driven there, though.
I've never been to Cleveland. I've driven by and I saw. So I'll have to go there for my baseball tour to go see the Indians play, but that's really about it. What other states do I hate? I don't see the point of having a South and a North Dakota. It should just be Dakota. There's really no people living there, so why'd you just merge them into one nice little state?
Mainly South Dakota, right?
It'd just be South Dakota, yeah. North Dakota's all about the Badlands and shit. It's a good little place to drive through, but it's not really a cool state. What other states don't I like? Do you not like any states, Bhargav? Since we're talking on the subject of states to fill out the rest of the thing.
No, I don't really not like anything. Any states.
You don't hate any states?
Well, I mean, there's dictator states like North Korea. Those are,
I'm talking about America.
I don't hate them, but it's just they just seem to be throwing a lot of bullshit.
I would love to visit North Korea if I knew I wouldn't be thrown in jail. It hurts. Like if
No,
you're back
some
there-
actually there's some dude on the internet that actually got in. Apparently, how you get in is you have to bribe your way
Wow.
into the through like China or something like that.
Well, it's like I'd like to visit Cuba, but I have to go to Canada to fly to Cuba, or go to Mexico and fly or take a boat into Cuba. I don't think they'd look too kindly if they see that in your passport. If you're American and you're not like of Cuban descent and you go to Cuba, I don't think they take too kindly to that. If you're trying to get back into America,
That's where we should have our next brawl video.
Cuba
Yeah.
or North Korea. North Korea, if you go there, it's supposed to be like 18th century living right now.
No, actually, it's not so much 18th century as it is like a fake world.
Well, everyone's in the rice fields getting the food and stuff. Like all the college students, if they're not.
Yeah, I mean,
or,
first of all, you're going to be tailed by security people the entire time you're there, right? And when you're there, especially if you're a Westerner, you're pretty much not allowed anywhere to actually see North Korea. You're just going to be in designated hotels, designated places. And then there, everything is like, there's like plastic food, and there's people walking around and setting up tables, and there really isn't anything going on. It's just kind of this weird
ghost town almost, like a.
Yeah, it's like it's a fake, like the entire thing's a PR front. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, oh, you're a Westerner, our country's great, check out. And it's like all these fake people with, fake things, and nothing is actually real Koreans, doing things on a daily basis. It's just there as a front, which is it's just really bizarre, very bizarre place. But that's what brainwashing does.
When you see the president, when he shows up, can you tell him that?
We're almost done though now. We've had like 20 minutes of like really suffering now. We're not doing anything, really talking. So
Yeah.
we have some filler subjects. So I think people will enjoy those. Probably not, but they will.
I think this. That shot where he closes the door, that was pretty much the last shot, daytime wise, and then everything else was just inside shots and the nighttime stuff. I think. Actually, you know what? I think I'm totally wrong on that. But this looks like it's the sun setting, so maybe this is the end. I don't know. I was getting out. I was getting food and stuff, so I have no idea. Yes, the wig.
And then right after this, Lindsay went to China, pretty much.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We had Kaylin in Japan before this, we had Lindsay in China after that. So
Yeah.
next year, who's going to be somewhere before and who's going to be somewhere after? That's another thing. With
And then
marriage.
somebody's gonna get married.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get married in someplace else other than America.
That would be the double whammy right there.
The world would explode. Or maybe we'll have an awesome baby.
An awesome baby. Oh my god.
And we're done, thank God.
Yeah,
We have
so-
credits still on.
There's still credits, but yeah, everybody there worked their ass off, and I definitely got all the support that I needed, and yeah, it all came together pretty well. I'm
Once
very
again,
impressed.
massive thanks to Kevin Baugh and his family
Yes.
for allowing us to do this, and massive thanks to all the producers that attended and worked their ass off for this.
And thanks to you guys for buying this DVD and helping Sport Channel Awesome.
Help us grow and take over the world
Yes.
in the long run.
Resistance is futile.
Indeed. But yeah, this is definitely a fun event for us. It was definitely a challenge for us, and
Yeah.
I'm really glad of how it turned out.
And we do listen to what you guys want. We want to bring up the production value as well. It is in our
Just give us some time.
long-term plans, but yeah, just
Next
takes
year's anniversary, we'll have a lot of stuff going on. So
right.
bye.
Take care.
Wait, we're not done yet.
Oh, we can cut it.
We could fake fight me and you to mock the scene, and then we'll be done.
Are there? Oh, this is only for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's 10 seconds
Yeah.
of us still talking. So
That's all good.
hey, bye for real.